you want. This other level where there is this enormous elaboration of which after the Middle Age comes to all the modern story of philosophy, and as I argue, including Heidegger, including all of us, but including by, of course, by deconstructing, if you want, or I don't know, making disappearing the religious side. For example, and this is a very complex process because, for example, the reform, the Protestantism going out of Catholicism, what it is, if not a re-elaboration of all the religion relationship out of a certain level of ritual, out of a certain theology of the works beside of the faith, going into the new thinking of subjectivity, of interiority, and that's all, you know.
Go ahead. My response is just that in practice, it doesn't always look that way. Like, two examples would be Catholic Church before Vatican II was not asking why. It was getting the feeling of the Latin, getting the feeling of the church, getting the feeling of the body of Christ as the room. And that translates, even though now in the homily there's some analyzation, if you look at Ignatian spirituality, it's just about a creative visualization of the essence of it. It's not always why.
But you said before Vatican II.
But even now, Ignatian spirituality now.
Ignatian, that I don't know.
Saint Ignatius. Oh, sure.
Ignatius?
Ignatian spirituality is
fundamentalist.
No. Catholic
fundamentalists.
Jesuits. I don't know if we're fundamentalists.
My question goes both ways. We'll go to you.
Okay, fine.
Can I make my question?
Yeah.
Instead of embracing your theory, which I do. I don't want to question your theory, but I want to ask a question within your explanation, which also relates to the question of Judaism. When you describe Christianity as the manifestation of the three major religions, and then in the beginning of the text, when you talk about globalization and technology as the ultimate expression of Christianity, which I agree completely, I wonder if you can elaborate in the relationship that Christianity has with representation, and what does it mean towards technology? This addresses your question.
Of course, it is very important. And I would say perhaps that Christianity has a very important relation to representation because precisely Christianity elaborates the theory of the faith of God being out of any representation. So therefore there is, and through Judeo-Christianity, or Judaism and Christianity, there is, as you know, the whole question of representation, of the image, of that whole. The name, even one could say the name mystery is a name for not only for an unrepresentable, or for the unrepresentable, but not as something that would be beyond our limited power of representation, but representable, I don't know, for a superior mind, like angels, but of something that doesn't belong to any realm of representation because it doesn't belong to presence. No? The main thing is that the Christian, once again, the Judeo-Christian, the monotheist God, doesn't belong to presence. He is not, he acts not by presence. He is and he acts by absence or by retreating itself. This is why, and so that I would once again come back to Heidegger. Even if you want to take the Greek world and the Greek philosophy as our true origin, source, etc., you have to consider that the Greek world is the world of retreating of the gods. You know? It's well known that the religion of the Greek is already no longer a religion in the sense of the religion in the mythical world. You know, there is a question by the French historian, already in the class, I didn't remember the name, there's a book with the title, Did the Greek Believe in Their Own Myth? You don't remember? No, you don't know. You don't know Wolfgang? Wait,
no.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's a good
This is a question, yes, no, but it is obvious that the Greek did not. The Greek mean, of course, the philosopher, the scientist, that's all. Not the people of Athens who are still practicing. So the Greek world, as the first step of the Occidental world, is the world of retreating divinity in general. What I argue is that Christianity did not grow up there, in that world, as a kind of return of the religion. Certainly, in a way, it was that. Okay, it was that, like many other religions, it was spread around the Mediterranean at this time. But at the same time, it was, and it is shown by its relation with philosophy and that's all, it was the elaboration of something quite different. It is, to say, a religion of the exit of religion. But, of course, at the first moment, it was not visible as such. But now I forget what was exactly your question.
Relationship of the
and representation.
And
representation. So I would say, on one side, Christianity retreat any possibility of representation of God. That means God or the truth or the presence or sense or meaning is retreating itself of representation. You know? But at the same time, it gives the free space to any representation out of that. And this is the possibility given to the scientific representation, to in any development possible of science, to the aesthetic representation, you know, as each of them as independent. You know, with science, it's already the case with the Greek, but not exactly with aesthetic, you know. So this is I think, the double bind between Christianity and representation.